Welcome to the Three Mouseketeers, the sibling podcast that understands your Disney addiction. I'm Jared.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Emily.
So we have a really fun episode this week. We are going to be talking about Disney animated movies or just movies in general that we want to share a world with. But first, let's get into some news. As of late March, it was announced that Disney was going to be making some pay cuts. It looks like VPs are going to make 20% less. Senior vice presidents are going to make 25% less. Executive vice presidents, 30% less. But I think the two big ones is that Bob Chapek is taking a 50% reduction in salary. And Bob Iger is just completely 100% foregoing his salary. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I can't imagine being one of those vice
president?
Vice executives, the lower end ones.
Yeah, the vice presidents.
Yeah. And getting a 20% pay cut because, I mean, they're not way high up on the pay scale. I mean, they definitely make more than I do, but, not a huge amount.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, whenever you're making a little bit more money than the average in this country, you're spending a little bit more money on your houses or your cars and, family, whatever it may be. So even though they make more money and they should be able to live a little bit better than everybody else, even with the 20%, their debt to income ratio might be about the same as somebody who's making like 50 or 60,000 or even less.
Right.
Yeah. I think it was inevitable that they had to do these pay cuts, obviously, because the Disney company as a whole is losing millions and millions of dollars every day. So they can't continue paying their employees what they were paying them before, obviously.
Yeah, it's terrible whenever you are an employee of somewhere and they use this time frame to say that you're going to make less money. But at this point, I think I would rather have a job than be completely unemployed.
Exactly. And that's not the case for a lot of people. So at least they have a job.
Yes. Which, there are a lot of people who work for Disney who do not have a job at all. So,
yes.
That's right. But I did see that a lot of those employees that got their pay cut were very upset about it. And I think one of the big issues was that it didn't say an end date on when their pay was going to go back to normal, if ever.
But that's because they don't have an end date for when everything in the Disney company is going to return to normal. They don't know when the parks are going to open. So how would they put a date on their money returning to normal when they don't even know when the company is going to return to normal?
I think the big thing, though, is that we don't know when the country is going to go back to normal at this point.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think it had to be like a specific date, like January 1st or anything like that. But they could have said when this is over, when the parks go back to full capacity, something to give them some warm feeling, that it was going to go back to normal and they're not just permanently cutting their pay.
Yeah, some kind of reassurance as to, okay, we're cutting it for right now, but it will go back up to what you were previously making before park closures.
Exactly.
Which, I'm sure it will.
Yeah,
it might just take longer. They would have a lot of executives that I don't think that they can afford to do their executives like that if they never returned them to normal. I think they would lose a lot of good people.
Oh, yeah, I think they definitely would. I'm sure there's a lot of positions within Disney. If they were to leave Disney for any reason, I'm sure somebody would pick them up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Welcome to the game show within a podcast. This is the trivia portion of the show. I have a trivia question for Amanda and Emily, and we're going to see if they know their Disney. Are you guys ready to play?
Sure.
No.
Okay, well, too bad because we're playing anyway. So this one I did not know until I looked up, so I think I'm going to have you stumped. It's
Okay.
kind of a two-part question, so you're going to get both of them at the same time. So here we go. Who is the youngest Disney princess, and how old is she?
I have to think about this one.
Well, the only one I know their age is Ariel, so.
Okay, and how old do you think Ariel is? I think you know this one.
I do know this one. Ariel is 16.
Yes. Okay. So do you think there is a Disney princess that is younger than Ariel?
I do.
Okay, who do you think would be younger?
Well, okay, first let me say, what are we classifying as a Disney princess? Because, like, whenever you go to the parks, I consider people like Moana, and
But she's not an official princess.
that's what I'm saying, but you still call them Disney princesses. Are we talking someone who in their movie was a princess?
I think so, but I would also classify Moana as a princess. So, Emily, how old do you think Moana is?
I mean, she is becoming chief, but I felt like she was too young to be becoming chief whenever I watched the movie. I would guess Moana is probably like 14.
That's what I was going to say, too.
You're both wrong. She's 16.
Oh, wow.
She is.
Okay.
Wow.
So she's the same age as Ariel.
Yes. Now,
What's the deal with all these princesses being 16?
don't know.
All right.
Okay, how about this? How old do you think that Anna and Elsa are?
Oh. I
Do you
feel
think
like
they would
Elsa's
be-
probably like 18 and Anna's
That's what I would
probably
say, too.
16.
Oh, very close.
Oh, but Anna's going to get married in that first one.
Ariel
Well,
was getting
Ariel
married,
got
too.
married, so
Okay, never mind.
from what I looked at, Anna is 18 and Elsa is 21.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I could actually see
So-
that a little bit more.
A little surprise. Elsa can drink.
Wow.
That's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Snow White, maybe?
Okay. How old do you think Snow White is?
She was young, too. I'm going to guess 15.
Emily?
I think Snow White's probably like 15.
So you both say about 15?
Yeah.
Okay. She is 14.
Whoa.
So is she the youngest then?
I don't know. What do you guys think about?
Oh, what about Sleeping Beauty, Aurora?
No, it was her birthday. She was either 16 or 18. Aurora was older. Because it was her 18th birthday. No, 16th birthday. Gosh, why can't I remember this?
I don't know.
Aurora was older, though. She was either 16 or 18.
Okay. So we've kind of narrowed down some ages. What do you guys think? What is your final answer?
I
I'm gonna
guess
say Snow White.
Snow White is correct. She is 14.
Wow,
Crazy.
that's crazy. She's too young to be living in the woods alone with a bunch of men.
I completely agree with that.
Right? 7 men, by the way. I mean, that's crazy.
Okay, but did you guys hear about the conspiracy theory that Dopey is actually Geppetto? And that's why Dopey
What?
doesn't say anything in Snow White?
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Like
People
Dopey-
are reaching.
Dopey was kind of clumsy and didn't say anything. So people are saying that it's a baby Geppetto.
Oh my goodness.
He
I
was-
have not heard that.
No.
So go look at some of the photos though, because I can see if you compare the two together, you can kind of see a resemblance a little bit.
Well, that's because they used a lot of the same animation
I
because it
know.
took so long to make animated movies that they use the same animation. So, yeah, of course they may resemble each other.
It's just pretty funny. I'm just saying, go look at it.
I will go look.
You should, because it's fun to think about. Okay, so Emily, let's go ahead and get into a history fact.
All right. So, with our current situation we're in, which we all know the parks are closed for an indefinite amount of time, I wanted to go back and look at some of the park closures in the past and how many times Disney has actually been closed. So, since opening in 1971, Walt Disney World has only closed 7 times. And of those, most of them were hurricanes, and then one was September 11th. And for those, they were only closed for a couple of days, of course. So this is obviously like the longest closure in the history of the park, and hopefully will be the longest closure that we ever have to endure. And then Disneyland, can y'all guess how many times Disneyland has been closed in its entire history? Which, think back, like, they've been open even longer than Disney World has.
I mean, I can definitely guess.
Guess.
478. That's a guess.
That is way too high.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's a guess. It's not accurate. It's probably wrong.
I'm guessing they've never been closed.
Okay, serious answer from me. I'm going to say 3 times.
What? Okay, not including this. Yeah, 3 times.
Wow.
You were spot on. And those were all just one-day closures.
For
So
what?
I think there was an earthquake. There was I think the day after the JFK assassination, I want to say. They closed for one day for like...
and 9/11.
And then 9/11 for one day.
Interesting.
So this is definitely, obviously, out of the ordinary, but not something that Disney has had to deal with because they are not used to closing their parks, ever.
Like, you could combine all of those closures, and this is still a lot longer than that.
Yeah, that only equates to 10 days.
It's crazy.
And you got to think it's all parks worldwide, so.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just wanted to take a look back at that and see how little Disney has closed before.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
That is interesting.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Amanda, why don't you go ahead and give us a tip?
This week, I want to talk about a couple of dining options that get you into the park a little early. Most of the time, the parks open around 9 o'clock, and usually dining experiences open about an hour earlier. Specifically, I'm talking about Be Our Guest for breakfast and Garden Grill for breakfast. If you can get 8 o'clock reservations for either of those restaurants, then you can finish your breakfast and head right over to either Soarin' in Epcot after a Garden Grill or to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train right after Be Our Guest, and then you don't have to waste a fast pass on them.
Yeah, it gets you a little bit early. Most people are not going to be standing in line just yet for those rides. So, Amanda, we actually had that option whenever we went this past time in December.
Exactly. So those reservations are very hard to get. You need to be online 180 days in advance, ready to snatch up the reservations at 8 o'clock because they go super fast.
So do you think that any of them would open up later on? Like people canceling reservations and doing something differently? Maybe canceling their vacation altogether? How often do you think that it would pop back up after that 180 days?
I don't think it's going to pop up very often, but it never hurts to check. People are changing their reservations all the time.
I was going to say, like, I know it doesn't happen a ton, but we actually got lucky, and a few years back, my husband and I got reservations for before the park opened for Be Our Guest, and we only booked our trip like 2 months before our trip. So it was like very unlikely for it to happen, and I just kind of kept checking periodically every day throughout the day, and one popped up and we were able to get it. So I would not give up on checking. I would have like a backup plan in place so you don't completely miss like out on a meal for that day, but if you really are set on something, I would keep trying.
So then could you make a reservation somewhere else for that time frame and still look for the reservations at 8 o'clock at Be Our Guest? Or is that something that you would have to keep that time slot available so that you can reserve it?
I mean, you don't have to keep it available. You could also consider, if you really want Be Our Guest, as an example, make your reservation at 9, 10 for breakfast, or make it for lunch. And then if you notice something pop up 8:15, you can always cancel the later reservation and move to the earlier reservation. So that's an option as well.
Okay.
And a lot of things do open up around 60 days in advance, 30 days in advance, and then again 2 days in advance or a day in advance, just because that's when the big things happen. So fast passes happen at 60 days in advance. So a lot of people are moving around their dining reservations at 30 days in advance. That's usually when reservations have to be paid off. So their trips have to be paid off. So a lot of things get canceled then. So you may find things opening up then. And then you have to cancel your reservations for any restaurants a day in advance. So a lot of things pop up the day before just because people decide they don't want that anymore, or they found one that they were really looking for, so they switched to something else. So there is a lot of movement the day before reservations.
Okay. So yeah, just I guess keep looking. If it's something
Keep
that you
looking.
want to get into the park early, then just keep looking for those reservations.
And that those tips about the 60-30 and day of or day before go with all reservations, not necessarily just with getting in the park early.
Yeah. And I think getting into the park early, like another benefit of that, besides like the shorter waits for the rides that normally produce longer waits, is that you have like the opportunity to be on a fairly empty main street, or like I would say especially Main Street, because you get castle pictures with little people, little amounts of people in them. Not little people. Okay.
Had kids.
They grow up to be Geppetto.
Oh, man.
Let's get into this or that. For this episode, we are choosing between a Disney cruise or Aulani, the Disney Hawaii resort. So what would the two of you choose?
I obviously want to do both. I'm sure all of us probably want to do both, but I've already been on a Disney cruise. I was only like 12 and I don't remember like that much, and I know it's a completely different experience as an adult, so I went to experience that. But I am very prone to motion sickness, and so because of that, I am choosing Aulani. And also because I've been to Hawaii before and it's on my bucket list to go back, and I've seen videos and pictures of Aulani and it just looks like paradise, because it is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I have not been on a Disney cruise. I have not been to Hawaii, but I think I would like to do both of them at some point. Aulani just seems like a tropical paradise, and that entices me more so than a cruise does. But
Me too.
I think it would just depend on if I'm really trying to get a Disney experience. If I'm going with the kids and I want to do like character meet and greets and stuff like that, then I think the cruise is the better way to go. But if it's like just me and some other adults, I think Aulani would probably be the way to go for me. It just seems super relaxing, super fun. They have a lot of great activities. pretty much anything you can think of. So I would say Aulani. Amanda, what about you?
Well, for me, I really want to go to Hawaii. So I would choose Aulani, but
Wow.
I really want to go on a cruise too, because I've never been on any cruise, much less a Disney cruise. So those are both places or things I really want to do.
But I think comparing a Disney cruise to just a regular cruise, I don't think you really can, because Disney does
No.
it completely different.
Oh yeah.
So even if
Yeah.
you have been on a cruise, because I have whenever I was younger, but I think that going on a Disney cruise would be 10 times better than just going on a regular cruise.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
see,
sure.
I have no interest to go on a regular cruise because of my motion sickness. And then on top of that, I would just rather like fly to a destination and get to be there for a week rather than only having one day at each place. But I would go on a Disney cruise for sure. It's totally different.
Well, I asked Facebook, and about 75% chose Aulani, and only 25% chose a cruise, which kind of surprised me, honestly.
That is kind of surprising that it was that
Yeah.
high.
I was honestly surprised that all three of us chose Aulani.
Aulani, yeah, me too.
So,
Yeah, I agree with that.
And this is what a couple of people had to say. So Laura said, a cruise by far. I love being unreachable for days and having my every need catered to.
that is nice.
That's a
That is
very
nice.
good point.
It is. Mandy said, it's a hard choice. At this point, Aulani. So I'm guessing that's because of the situation in the world.
Maybe so.
Maybe, but they're currently closed, so
Well, everybody's currently closed.
yeah. So I don't know why at this point.
Michelle said, OMG, that is like picking your favorite child. If I was picking between Caribbean Disney Cruise Line and Aulani, I love it there.
So sounds like somebody is tooting their own horn about being in Aulani before, and I am super jealous.
Me too.
But I mean, it really is a hard decision between the two, I think.
I think I'd really like to do an Alaskan Disney cruise.
Yeah, I've lived in Alaska, so I'm good. Jared,
I went on a
curiosity,
glacier cruise in Alaska.
You did. You went with me.
I did.
We almost got flipped over by a whale. It's super fun. Just out of curiosity, if you were to find out that Aulani has character meet and greets and they have the children's club, just like cruise lines have, would you change your view about wanting to bring your children there?
Okay, first, let's stop being vague. Do they have character meet and greets at Aulani?
Yes, they do.
Okay, because I did not see that anywhere on their website that there were character meet and greets. So that is surprising to me. So that actually makes my decision a little easier because, I mean, Aulani just looks amazing. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of kids club activities.
Yeah. They have, that's one of the few places right now where you can meet Moana.
That's interesting. See, I wonder why they don't have it on their website, because I'm looking at their website right now and it doesn't mention anything about character meet and greets.
I don't know. Maybe you have to go somewhere specific. I'll look into it. I know I've seen it before. They also have like a character meal where you can dine with Minnie and Mickey, just like at Disney World.
Okay.
So, I mean, they do have some of that stuff that you were talking about.
Then that just makes my decision a little easier then.
Just curious.
All right, so I guess let's go ahead and get into our main topic. Our main topic is going to be what movie we would like to become part of our world. So we decided we wanted to kind of focus mostly on animated movies from Disney, because a lot of the live action stuff, we can already kind of say that it is a part of the world, right? There's not a whole lot out there that's like just bonkers off the wall, right?
I don't know. Talking lions.
Well, that I would consider that as animated first. So I wouldn't say that the live action version of the Lion King. If you said Lion King, I would automatically assume you're talking about the animated version.
Okay.
I should have picked Lion King. I don't know why I didn't. I just started thinking there's talking animals, talking lions. Like, why did
Lady
I
and the
not pick
Tramp,
that?
same thing.
I know.
True.
I'm like sitting here like regretting my movie choice right now because of the movies with the talking animals.
Well, then
The
Emily,
movie I picked doesn't have a talking animal.
then let's go ahead and get into what your movie pick is then.
Okay. I picked Moana, and I don't completely regret it, but I wish it had talking animals. But Moana is one of my absolute favorite Disney movies. And so it's kind of the first thing that my mind went to whenever we came up with this topic. And then I started thinking more about it. And I thought, yeah, I would actually like that to be realistic. Of course, we do have to take into consideration that there is that volcano that comes to life and basically tries to destroy everything and kill Moana. But if we look past that, I would like it to be part of our world.
Okay.
Would you like me to elaborate on that?
I
Yes.
think that it might be a bad decision to have the Earth come to life and destroy everybody who's trying to destroy the world, because we would be out of
In
a planet. Yeah.
Yes, but that is what I like about the idea is that the earth, the nature elements are alive. Like the ocean is alive and interacts with you. And, like, I think that would be so cool. And then Maui, like, I think the whole demigod, goddess, like, all of that stuff is a cool concept if we had to, like, make believe.
I can see that. And maybe if it was real, then maybe people would have been kinder to the earth up to this point.
Nah, probably not.
I mean, I would think probably because if you aren't, you'll probably get like eaten by
The water.
a tree or water or whatever. A rock will just fall on your head spontaneously. But I also just think I know that there's places that are as beautiful as the island in Moana. Like I know that that's like reality, but I would like to live there.
Which is not
I
reality.
would like that to be everywhere,
Yeah.
Like if Moana was real life, I would want it everywhere to look like that. It's just the one movie that I want to like embrace and like put myself into and have it be real. Y'all are looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, we're just listening to you.
Also, what if people spontaneously broke out into song like in Moana?
That would be terrible.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Actually, you know what?
So-
In all honesty, most people break out in song whenever they're just bored. So
Yeah, but it's not good like the music in Moana. Like I downloaded it. I'm serious. I have the Moana soundtrack on my phone and I still listen to it all the time because there's such good
obviously.
songs.
Yeah, they are. The soundtrack's great.
See, you can break out into song anytime you wanted to then.
You can.
That's
It's
what I'm
not
saying.
against
You
the
would have
rules.
the background music, like the islandy music behind you, and it would be great. So yeah, I'm going with Moana.
Need an Alexa so she could just sing for you, and then you're good.
Yeah, but
There you go.
I'm not gonna have the water that's interacting with me and the trees and hey.
Okay, so you need to buy a chicken. That's a little, special. And
I
then you'll
do.
be
I
good.
would love a special chicken.
Okay. Amanda, what about you? What's your movie? Which, by the way, Emily, I'm very surprised you didn't pick Lilo and Stitch.
Okay, that's scary. I do not want aliens to be here. I thought about Lilo and Stitch and I was like, no. Like, as much as I love Stitch and he's a cool alien, like, I don't want aliens to come here. So, no.
See, I took this a whole different way than what you did. So you chose it because it was your favorite movie or one of your favorite movies. I chose it because I think the abilities and stuff are cool. I chose Peter Pan because who wouldn't want little pixies flying around and the pixie dust that they could sprinkle you with and help you fly? I mean, that's just really cool. And you could get away and go to Neverland where you don't ever have to grow up. You don't have to worry about bills or coronavirus or whatever. You could just go and be young and free again and enjoy it.
That's a very good point you bring up. I'm wondering if Neverland has coronavirus.
I'm guessing
I
no.
feel like it probably does.
It was Hook.
Nowhere's untouched.
Hook brought it to Neverland.
You know, I actually considered Peter Pan whenever I was thinking of this as well for very similar reasons. So I like your thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. It just seems great. I would love to do all that stuff.
But would
I would
we
love
be
to
able to
fly.
take advantage of that, though?
I think so, because I think in the second one, didn't Wendy go to Neverland?
She did fly, not on her own though. I think that, well,
She did fly on her own with the pixie dust.
I mean, I don't see why we couldn't take advantage of it.
Peter sprinkled her with the pixie dust from Tinkerbell, and then she was able to fly.
Yeah,
Just have to think of a happy thought.
I don't know, because it's getting into some gray area where, like, you don't see any adults go in the regular Peter Pan.
Oh, by
So,
we you meant
yeah.
people
Adult.
like over the age of 18.
Yeah.
Hook is an adult,
Mm.
and he's there.
Yes, but
Yes.
how
Jared
did
would
he
be
get
Hook.
there, though?
Shmi is
I would-
there. He's an adult.
I would be
No, Jared
totally
would
on
be-
Hook's side. I'd be like, yeah, let's do this.
Jared would be Smee.
He-
I can't because there's already a Shmi.
Yeah, but you would be like him.
Probably.
I like that choice though.
I think we should be able to go.
I don't know. Let's find out.
And I wouldn't want to go all the time because I do have a family, but every once in a while you kind of need a little getaway.
You wouldn't bring your kids to Neverland with you?
Not every time, no.
Okay, well, I had a hard time deciding. Here's a few options that I went through. Okay, I talked to you guys about this one, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
That was one that I think would be really fun just to have like cartoons running around all over the place, right? That's not the one I
Definitely.
chose.
Oh.
I thought about Alice in Wonderland. That would be really fun. A lot of crazy characters in Alice in Wonderland, but I didn't choose that one either. I think that the one that I would most like to be a part of our everyday life would be Sword in the Stone.
What?
Yeah, that's an interesting choice.
Tell us your reasons.
Because of magic.
Okay, but lots of Disney movies have magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sword in the Stone is very fun because they have Merlin. And Merlin is one of the best wizards ever.
So you would like there to be wizards along with the magic.
Yeah, it would be really awesome. You don't think
Could
so?
have picked Harry Potter. I'm just kidding.
That's not Disney.
I know,
No.
I'm just kidding.
Not
You're
Disney.
confusing people.
No, I think it would be really fun to have Merlin like hanging out with you and doing magic and stuff and teaching you how to pull swords out of stones.
I really don't think he taught him how to do that.
He
I think that
didn't.
was,
No, he did not.
Arthur.
So is Would you like to just be able to pull a sword out of a stone? Is that why you want this to be reality?
No, it's because I want to be Merlin's apprentice and learn
Okay.
how to do wizardry. Because, I mean, he turns himself into... Oh, my God. He turned himself into coronavirus, guys. I just realized.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Make himself magic it away.
He turned himself into a virus, and he infected Mad Madam Mim. I just realized this moment.
Oh.
Oh, my God, guys. Is Merlin a villain?
I mean, I feel like you're not a villain if you're doing it for the good of the people.
But, I mean, it was in a wizard battle. And they could turn themselves into any living creature. And she turned herself into a dragon, and he turned himself into a virus and infected her.
Oh my goodness. Well, actually, that could be a very beneficial power to have.
It could be, you're right. But, I don't know.
Spread. Now we're in trouble.
Yeah, but if you have magic, you can just unspread it.
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't see why not. There's no limit on magic.
I guess not. I don't know. Well, I mean, since I gave a couple runners up, Amanda, Emily, what about yours? What other movies were you kind of thinking about?
Well, like I said, I was thinking about Peter Pan, which Amanda ended up choosing. I briefly for a second thought about Lilo and Stitch, and then, like I said, got scared of the aliens.
Oh no, aliens.
For some odd reason, at one point or another, I thought about Tarzan.
Okay.
I was thinking, maybe like I might like everyone to like live in the jungle with the animals.
Okay.
But
yeah, I
then
can see that.
I'd rather everyone be living on an island with like a Maui that can
Sing
give
your
you
welcome.
things. Yeah, and grant you, basically wishes.
Now, what about this one? This is one that I really liked. What about Coco? Because that's an extremely good movie.
Oh wow. I didn't think about that one. That would be a very colorful world.
It would be
colorful.
And I like that. I like colors.
And you could see your ancestors.
Yes.
But they don't actually see them.
Coco did.
Well, he was a unique individual.
Yeah.
But not everybody did.
There would be some people that would be unique individuals like Coco, surely.
Yeah, but if I wasn't one of those unique individuals, I'd be super sad.
Okay, well, what about you, Amanda? What other movies were you thinking of?
The only other one I briefly considered was Aladdin, because I love Aladdin.
Oh, yeah.
And who wouldn't want a genie that could, grant you 3 wishes? But then I thought, oh, well, then it's only 3 wishes, and then you don't have the genie anymore. So that's why I decided not to go with Aladdin.
Unless you're a complete mean person. I was going to use some colorful language and I stopped myself. But you would only get 2 wishes, right? And then nobody would have the genie anymore.
Oh, because you let him free.
Because you would have to let him go.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, Aladdin's probably not a good one then. You have to pick a movie. You have to pick a movie where there's someone who can grant you unlimited wishes, like Maui and
Oh, you mean
Peter
like
Pan
Merlin?
and Tinkerbell and Merlin.
Yeah, see? Better choices.
I like how we all picked movies that had to do with magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that's what Disney is. It's magical, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Amanda, I know you would hate for Fantasia to be part of this world.
Yes, I did not care for that movie when I was young.
I didn't either. My mom said she
Weird.
tried to show it to me like once whenever I was little, and she realized that she was even scared and she turned it off. She was like, "What is this?"
It's really a wild ride. That's what it is.
That is my oldest favorite movie, and even being young would beg for me to play it over and over and over again. And man, I did not like that movie.
That's so funny. I feel like most kids are like weirded out by it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think most people are weirded out by it.
Yeah.
I mean, the music is amazing, but
Yeah.
the imagery is a little disturbing.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm glad none of us chose Cruella de Vil.
101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, I don't know why I called it Cruella de Vil. Like, that's the name of the movie.
Are you glad I didn't choose Jafar?
Yeah. Also that.
I don't know. I kind of like Jafar.
No, no one likes Jafar.
I'm really surprised that Emily didn't pick Beauty and the Beast just for Gaston.
That's
Ew,
true.
okay. But I would not want Gaston to be a real person.
I don't know. You like him in the parks.
Yeah, because he's acting.
But he would
We don't
act
need
like
a
that
bunch
all the
of
time.
we don't need a bunch of conceited men like that in the world.
I got news for you. We have tons of them.
Yeah, but at least yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for tonight's episode. Get on social media and let us know what movie you would like to be part of our world and have the conversation and see if other people agree with you. But let's go ahead and get into some mousekeeping. We do have another 5-star review. Thank you guys so much. Please keep sending them in. We are kind of running low. So this one comes from Jason Cooley, C-U-L-L-E-Y. I'm sorry, I screw up everybody's name. So this was on January 1st of this year, and it says, great podcast. Great podcast. My favorite episode so far was the best and worst rides. Oh, thank you. Jared, Amanda, and Emily sound like they are having fun in every episode I've heard. Check it out if you haven't, and add it to your list of must-hear podcasts. Thank you so much, Jason, for the 5-star review. We appreciate it so much. Again, if you feel the need to leave us a 5-star review, please do so. We are running low, and we will read it on an upcoming episode.
If you're interested in giving your family a magical vacation, you can contact me on social media. On Facebook, you can find me at amanda.hollis, Capture the Magic Vacations. My services are free, and I can plan as little or as much of your vacation as you'd like. You can find all of my contact information in the show notes.
On the next episode, we are going to be talking about family traditions at the parks.
Oh, that one's going to be a fun one.
It will.
Okay, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. You can also be a part of the magic by following the show at T3M Podcast on all social media platforms. That's T3M Podcast. Leave us a 5-star written review and we'll read it on an upcoming episode. If you have an announcement that you would like to have on the show or just want to reach out to us, you can send us an email at t3mpodcast@gmail.com.
Have a zippity-doo-dah day.
See you real soon.
I guess they do some of...
You double did it.
I'm so tired. I'm acting like a 5-year-old. Why was that funny?
Found our blooper at the end of the episode.